Hello there, everybody. I hope you're all doing well on this wonderful. Oh gosh, that is me. Don't want to hear that. On this wonderful Tuesday, I realised that I started talking and my mic was muted, so that was a little bit embarrassing. So hopefully your Tuesday's going relatively okay. Why can I still hear clicking in the background? No? Okay, that's fine. So this is a requested stream because a friend of mine, Bleach, has recently picked up Genshin Impact again and has said that there's a couple of things that he's not quite sure of what to do or how to have a look at things. So I figured that I would take a little bit of time in order to have a look at some key things, key bits to note, etc. In order to hopefully help him out. So I'm on my PlayStation account because my PlayStation is just a little bit easier. I am a bit, it's my main account as opposed to my PC. So I'm just gonna very quickly go through little side bits as well, and I'll look at doing my my dailies, etc. So the BP level is a battle pass essentially, or Gnostic hymn that comes on it pretty much every month. It lasts for about a month, and the top is what you get for free. The bottom is what you get if you pay. So each one of these boxes contains a little separate bit if you want to. So a guide to these are all in relation to talent leveling up, and if you wanted to, you can buy separate bits in order to make life easier for yourself. I personally don't, because I'm not 100% of a fan of buying battle passes, etc. I like to get my money's worth, and I personally do not feel like I get my money's worth from a battle pass. However, that is just my personal opinion. You don't have to take that. Say, hey, Bleach, here we go. Right, first of all, Bleach, I am massively sorry that I didn't get around to doing this yesterday. My friend, because I completely forgot it's bank holiday Monday yesterday at the end of August, and my friend decided to pop round and see. And by the time he had kind of got onto stuff, I was like, bugger, it's too late for me to it's too late for me to stream now. So this is the requested stream that I said I would do for you on Sunday, of having a look at some of the core basic things in relation to Genshin Impact. So first of all, this is the completed map of what I have so far. So as you can see, this is all kind of what's it called, Sumeru, that we've just unlocked. This is all Liyue, which is Geo, Anemo, which is Mondstadt, and then we have Inazuma, which, as I mentioned before about the sea, all of that is, so you can't ice bridge that, unfortunately. And then we have Inazuma over here. So I appreciate, no, absolutely no worries at all. Okay, so I have a slightly longer list of characters than you do. So all the different characters are different elements for starters. So we have Geo, which is always in the top left as the little. So if you go onto the character thing, the color behind them is in relation to what their element is. So this is Geo, and then it also tells you in the top left as well, and that is their vision, which is always on them somewhere. So you can see that Kaidahara's is on his back. Yeah. Yes, you definitely do. I do. I have, so there's 5 in a row, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I have 37 of them, and I am by no means the entire way through. So if I go to some of my stronger characters, there is about 3 or 4 different ways of leveling up your base characters. So there is the usual leveling up. So all of mine most of mine are level 80. Which is the highest that I can have in the current world level that I'm at. In order to level as soon as you hit to the top of, it's usually 10s apart from 20 to 40, and then in which case that's 20 for some god knows reasons. In order to ascend them, you need to have set different materials, which is usually a rock, which is these ones. So it's like a gemstone, something related to their element, which in this case, this is a basar pillar. We'll get to how you find them later. A fruit or a plant that you find somewhere in the world, or some of them rely on stones. But it's basically like a physical resource and an enemy drop. And this can be a wide variety depending on the area that your character is based in, or sometimes they just kind of go haphazard and just decide on whatever they want. Once you've got all of those things you need, you can... Oh, okay, you have an ad. I'll wait for the ad to go. I'll wait till he comes back and says that the ad breaks are. That's early. I didn't think I had them set that high, but never mind. I'll wait till he comes back. So yeah, this is a non-sponsored help out stream. So I hopefully as well this is useful to anybody else that might be wanting to play Genshin. Let me know when you're back, Bleach. I know you can't hear me if you're an ad break going on, but let me know. And unfortunately my mic is in the way because we rearranged our furniture a little bit. So the mic is right at the spot, right at the bottom of where my chat is. Are you back, Bleach? I don't think I had my ads going for that long. Apparently my ad's like, no, take all the time. Ad is over. Okay, welcome back. So just to recap, because I'm not quite sure how much you heard, we have rocks that drop from semi big bosses, or you can craft them or convert them from different elements. Something that's also dropped by like a mini boss that is related to their elements, resources that you can just find in the world, and a enemy drop. So this is how you level up your characters in general. The next way that you can improve the DPS or upgrade your character is with their weapon. Now you just kind of have to have either do a bit of research or have a guess of what you think might be useful for your character, but making sure that that's the highest it can be is also useful. Leveling up your weapons works in exactly the same way as leveling up your characters. Every 10 you need to have certain materials in order to upgrade your weapon past that. So if I go into enhance, you can see I'm at the top of level 80. I need all of these materials, which this comes from a domain. This is these two are enemy drops, which they are usually weapons are usually both enemy drop items. Once you have all of that, you'll be able to upgrade it to the next bit. And again, the amount you can level them up is locked into your adventure rank / world level. So that's weapons. Artifacts. So artifacts for you, Bleach, I wouldn't worry about for quite a while yet. You only really kind of need to worry about it too much when you hit adventure rank 45, which is why I am slowly but surely making my way through getting relevant artifacts for people. A vast majority of the time, having a set per character might not necessarily matter. Sometimes it's the stats that matter more. For your feather and your flower, they are locked on what their main stat is. So your flower will always be HP, and your feather will always be attack. So what you need to look for these two is what is known as your substats, which are the ones underneath where it says +20. That's what level this artifact is. And per character will have different requirements. So Noelle, when she reaches Constellation 6, requires a lot of defense heavy stuff, because that's what her attack is based on. We'll get to that later. Whereas your Sans, your Goblet, and your Circlet / hat is very, very different. They now have a wonderful bit where they tell you what other people are using in order to help. So if I press the up key, it tells you what a vast majority of people who have Noelle and have whatever thing, this is what they're more likely to have in relation to this particular character. So you can use this to help if you want. So again, Noelle primarily deals damage from her defense percentage, so that's why a vast majority of people pick defense percentage. Some people require elemental mastery, which is how the elements interact with each other. Others just generally have attack, and some people have HP for whatever reason. It depends on what their attack scales off. But again, if you're not 100% sure, you can use this as an example to be like, a vast majority of people use defense, so I will do the same. Again, you need to have, you need to also pay, oh gosh, oh, my baby boy. You need to scale it off as well about what their substats are as well. But it can be, it's a bit of a minefield. You're not going to get that overnight. It's going to take you a while. Just a heads up. Goblet is very, very similar. So goblets are the only ones that can have specific elemental based damage bonuses. So for instance, looking at this one has a hydro damage bonus. So you would tend to use that on hydro based characters. That's why I have it with Kamisato Ayato, because he is a water based character. So this is really useful because it just means that any water based damage that you do gets an extra boost and deals even more damage. Again, you need to have a look at the substats as well if you are that way inclined to make it as absolutely kick-ass as possible. If you're not bothered, don't worry too much about it. And then you'll circle it again. Certain characters such as Jean and Barbara and Chi-Chi rely on healing, so theirs tends to be healing based. So having a look at that one, so that's a healing bonus. So that means that when they set off their passive, it deals as much healing as you can. So they tend to be support characters, and other characters tend to have critical damage or critical rates. The percentage that a lot of people tend to go for is a 50% critical rate, and then the rest of it on critical damage, unless your character needs something else specific. But again, you can have a look at what other people use in relation to that if you're not 100% sure. So that's the main and the substats. The set bonuses are different per character, so you'll want to read it to find out what will be useful for certain characters. So there are certain artifacts such as Heart of Depth where they are specifically targeted towards water-based characters. There's some that's specific to Geo, I can't think, Electro, things like that. So you have to kind of have a look at what each of the artifact thing does. However, again, until you get to adventure rank 45, I wouldn't necessarily worry about that too much. In relation to leveling up your artifacts, your gold artifacts are the highest ones that you can get, and you can level them up to level 20. Purple you can only get to level 16. Is that okay? Am I going too fast for you, Bleach? Are you? Does that any of that make any sense so far with the main leveling up the weapons and the artifacts? Artifacts don't require resources or enemy drops in order to level up. You can level them straight up to 20, no worries. Is everything okay? I feel like I'm kind of zipping through it very, very quickly. Again, this will be a VOD and it will eventually probably be sent over to my YouTube channel in order to kind of keep hold of things. So if at any point you are confused and you want to go back over things, it'll be there. Because I know that it can Genshin, it can be very, very much a minefield and can be a little overwhelming when you're very, very new to it. I am presuming you're okay with that, so I'm going to move on. Constellations. So constellations are what you get so the first time you pull a character on the wish-based system, you just unlock the character. If you then pull that character again on a wish system in the future, obviously you can't re-unlock the character, you've already unlocked them. So instead you get a constellation, which kind of looks like a little gem, and what will happen is you will be able to unlock things. This will make it so that's kind of how a constellation looks. It's the little one in gold. Ayato is a 5-star character, which is why his gem is purple. Level 4 or 4-star characters are usually purple. And all this is basically, this just makes your character a little bit more powerful, or does things differently in order to make things easier for you. Where is... This is a bad example because all of these are level 5. Okay, Yunjin is. So, there you go. So that's the purple one for a 4-star character. So you can get them to C6, Constellation 6. You'll hear C6 quite a lot. Once you fully unlock their constellations, if you then pull that character again in the future, you just kind of get 5 bits back, so you could buy another wish token type thing. But don't tend to worry about that too much. It's easier to level up your 4-star characters than it is to do your 5-star, unless you want to sink an incredible amount of money into the game. My characters aren't too bad. Let's go back to Ayato. Next bit is talents. So as far as I am aware, there is 10 talent levels that you can do. So, and each of them are locked to the ascension character. So you need to have ascended your character twice before you can start improving their talents. Each talent, this is a bad example because Kaedahara hasn't got all of his yet. So you can see that on this one, I haven't unlocked everything yet. I haven't maxed out his talents as of yet. If you are under level 40, adventure rank 45, I would recommend focusing on your talents first, and then once you've done all of that, then work on your artifacts. Because to be honest, by the time you've done all of that, you should be to adventure rank 45 by the time you get to this kind of level. So each talent requires something that you get from a domain, I'll get to domains in a minute actually. An enemy drop and a big boss. I'll get to the big bosses in a minute. But yeah, each one of them requires, once you get to level 6, this is what they require. Before that, you only require 2 enemy drops. Have I got a character actually? Who is that lower level? No. See what I mean? So you've had to have ascended her twice in order to do it. I haven't yet. There we go. So again, for up until level 6, you just need your domain items and your enemy drops. Sorry, I thought there was 2 lots, but there's just the one. Once you get to a certain level per adventure rank, it will stop you being able to go up any further. And then your profile bit just kind of has a look at the voice lines that they have in there so far. If you need to check over what you've given them so far, you've kind of got a little bit of an overview on the right hand side about what their attack is, their defense, elemental masteries, etc. If you need to see what your artifact set looks like in general, you can press triangle and it gives you a breakdown of what everything is. So a lot of my characters, even though they are level 80, their artifacts still they're still not essentially in a place where I would like them to be, because it is an absolute minefield. So going back to some of my higher ones, Kaedahara has 1,600 attack. He has an 11% chance to do a critical hit, and if he does manage to do a critical hit, it's 74%. But there we go. That is the actual character leveling up, and how it's divided into how to make your character as strong as possible. Is broken down into quite a few things. There is no harm as well of focusing on one thing first, in relation to either all your characters, or picking one specific character and doing everything for that one specific character and then moving on. So if we have a look at on the talents, he's a bad example. Actually, Kaidahara is a good one because I haven't finished him yet. So you can see here that they have these talent materials. Now these are tied into certain domains. So the domains here, there is if you press square if you're on the PlayStation, I think there is an option at the bottom of the screen if you're on PC. You can take everything else off and just see the domains, and they'll tell you exactly what they are. So you can see that the one up here is for artifacts, and if you click on it, it tells you what artifacts you can get from this domain. Or you have your talent level up material, and it tells you which one it is. Now for the talents and the so there's one talent and there's one weapon ascension materials in Inazuma, one in Sumeru, one in Liyue, and one in what's it called? Mondstadt. So each of these, for both the weapon ascensions and the talents, are locked into days. So there is about 6 different. Is there 6 or is there 3? Sorry, there's 3 per domain. So how it tends to work is it's Monday and Thursday you have 1 item. Tuesdays and Fridays you have a 2nd item. Wednesdays and Saturdays you have a 3rd item, and then Sundays are the best day because Sunday they're all available for you to have a look at. So please bear that in mind if you're looking at doing domains for the day and when you're looking at leveling up people. So you may want to level up 1 person per day depending on what materials that they need, and the same is for the weapon ascensions. The weapons are locked into specific days, so you can see that with the ball things here you can only get them on a Tuesday, a Friday, or a Sunday. So something to bear in mind in relation to those 2 things. For the other ones, I'm going to turn that back on for a second. Oh, and you can tell which ones they are because they are a diamond with a large blue circle and a little tiny white semicircle in there. These ones up here, which are 1 diamond with a smaller blue diamond inside of it, is different. So you will unlock these as you progress through the story, but this is a recap of your final bosses either per story or per the main quest line. You will only be able to claim this once a week, and for 3 of them you get them, so it's 30 of the little moons in the top corner, and once you've done 3 of them, the rest of them are 60. There is 6 altogether. There's 2 in Mondstadt, there's 2 in Inazuma, and there's 2 in Liyue, and they will drop, if I have a look here, where is it? There we go. So they will drop items like this, which is the character level up material, which goes into the talents. So each one of them, each of the 3 talents that we've seen earlier will require 1 of these. So this means that when you're trying to get them to level up, it can take 6 weeks per character leveling up. And it's an RNG drop rate, so you can't guarantee that the item that you need, there's 3 different items that you can have. So taking Storm Tower for instance, you can have a plume, a claw, or a sigh. I don't know how that looks like a sigh, but it is. So what they started doing, because a lot of people started complaining about the fact that they had a lot of size and they needed a plume, and it wasn't fair because now they had a massive amount of one thing that they didn't need, is they started introducing this. So Dream Solvent, if you go to a crafting bench and press R1, will give you the option of changing whatever your drop is into something else. Actually, let me show you that. Come on, Kaidahara. Okay, so this is the convert. So you can convert any of the materials that you have in relation to the stones that we talked about before into other ones, depending if you have a lot of one and not a lot of the other. And then here is what I was saying before about the dream solvents being able to change the item that you have. So for instance, if I wanted this instead of this, I would just press confirm, but I'm not, their drop rate isn't great, so I'm not wasting one to show you that. I'm not going to get into that. So, oh, actually, yeah, where do I get the... So that is just for the actual character parts. Where is the other one? Here it is. So Dust of Asoth. I'm not quite sure how. It's, as you go and get your daily commissions, actually, you'll see that a little number appears on it. And this is what you are able to do to change the element type of the stones that you get in order to level up your character. So, for instance, a lot of people will be using Dendro at the moment because they have a large amount of other things and nothing Dendro related. But yeah, you can kind of naturally accrue them as you going around, or you can buy them from the Stardust Exchange if you are desperately needing one now. So the wish, no, that's Battle Pass. We talked about Battle Pass. So the wish things, Primo Gems, you can get 60 per day from doing your daily commissions. If you've got to that point yet, I think you need to be like adventure rank 16 or something in order to unlock it. You got a few weapons leveled up. Good, glad to hear it. Again, apologies if I'm teaching you to suck eggs and you know all of this, but I hope at least some of it's been useful. So what I meant when I said if you get your character and you get another constellation unlock, or if you get to a C6 character and you win them again, you see the little in the bottom left hand corner. Oh no, you can't really see it because my little thing's in the way. Let's go on to the shop. So the Star Glitter, oh, get back on there. So Star Glitter Exchange. What would happen is you would get 5 of these, which you would be able to then buy another Entwined Fate. So what a lot of people recommend is if you are a free-to-play person, everything is useful, thank you, no worries at all. So everybody at the moment has an estimate that you have to do 90 pulls. If you're free to play, you have to have 90 pulls before you get a 5-star character. Occasionally you will get something known as a pity pull, which is around about 50 or 60, but that doesn't happen every time, but that's something to bear in mind. If you want to know what number you are on, you can go onto your history, and your history will tell you every single weapon or character that you've unlocked, and you can kind of go through in they're usually 6s, but this is 5s, which is easier but also going to throw me off a little bit more. You can see how far the last time you got a 5-star character is. Mine was a while ago. So for instance, mine was 60. I was very quick maths for me. So Kaidahara was my last 5-star character. I got him in 16th of July. And so since then, I have done 60 pulls. So the chances are I am not going to get this person now, unless I get another maybe 20, 30 constellations entwined fate, sorry, before I can pull it again. So a lot of people tend to recommend pulling in 10s because if you do it individually, sometimes there can be a bit of an issue in relation to tallying everything up, whereas as you can see in green it says every 10 wishes is guaranteed to include at least one 4-star or higher item. Yes, I did. So in regards to the codes, so there are some codes that you can unlock. They tend to do them around premieres or special events. They will have them open for about a day. And then there are a couple that are just available all the time, but once you claim them once, you won't be able to claim them again. So it's always worth kind of keeping an eye out, particularly on Facebook groups or Discord groups, because people will put screenshots or snapshots of the codes available on there for you to get them, and they're usually about 100 primos per code. The only other time that you will get a large amount of primos is when the game updates. They tend to do 100 primos per hour that the game is down in relation to maintenance, and they tend to go down for about 6 hours, so you get 600 primogems. But that's that. And you can, again, you can also buy more primogems from the shop if you want, and certain character outfits. A lot of people tend to go Blessing of the Welkin Moon because you per day you get 300 crystals, 90 primogems every day for 30 days, and then the Genesis crystals you can also convert into more primogems. And then you can also buy certain weapons such as these, and then certain weapon or enemy drop if you need specific ones and you don't mind spending that on there. And then the Stardust Exchange is very similar to the Star Glitter Exchange. It's just that the goodies that you get are a slightly lower level. That's all. And then purchase primogems. As soon as you get 160, you can buy one Intertwined Fate, or you can buy one Acquaint Fate. However, a vast majority of people tend to recommend going with the intertwined one first instead of that one. But you do naturally kind of accrue them as you start leveling up your characters at certain... It's like every odd one. They will... So if I show you with Kaidahara again... so if you need to... So going back over Kaidahara, you can see that certain odd levels, they will give you a little fate thing. So like you don't get it for that one, got it for that one, don't get it for that one, got it for that one. If that makes sense. So that is domains. That is characters. That is the wish system. Your backpack does have a very large amount of freedom in how much you can have, but it can very easily still get used up. I wouldn't recommend destroying anything because it doesn't necessarily take up your backpack. So for instance, you can see I have a whole mess of stuff and I still have room for a whole mess more. I think that's about it for that. Oh, Statues of the Seven. Okay, let's go to a Statue of the Seven. So each of the Statues of the Seven will unlock sections of the map as you go through to them. Unfortunately, I did unlock everywhere in in Sumeru because otherwise I'd be able to show you. But usually it's kind of, as soon as an area unlocks, it kind of looks like this, but you will get a grayed out version of a Statue of the Seven in various areas that you can navigate to and go and see if you can find it. Now, each of the countries, each of the areas in the world are, as I said earlier, are linked into their elements. And the reason that they do this is because while every other character is linked for the elements that they can control, the Traveller is not. The Traveller can very easily flit between elements. So at the moment, I currently have her as the Dendro character, and if you look on their personage, you'll be able to tell which element they're currently using because certain areas will glow differently. So there's a bit just on her chest, that bit is currently green, the bits on her stockings, and if I turn around, the bits on her sash as well. So this is currently Dendro. That's the Dendro bit. So if I go to the Statue of the Seven and I click resonate with Anemo, this now gets rid of my Dendro abilities, and instead I've now gone back so you can kind of see the colouring. Oh, the ads are on. So the I don't know whether to wait for a minute. I thought I don't have adverts that regular. I know I don't. So you can see that the colour on the on her sash and her legs and her chest are different. So I've now resonated with Anemo, and you can see, boosh. So if I want to go back to having my Dendro stuff, I have to go all the way back to a statue of the Seven in Sumeru. Wait till she does it. And then go back to resonating with Dendro. A little cutscene will happen every time that you do it in order to show you that you have changed your elements. And now if I press my elemental skill, you can see I've gone back to Dendro. If I want to go to Geo, I need to go to Liyue, because that is the land of Geo. And I go up to the statue of the Seven. So I now have Geo, so that now replaces my Dendro / Anemo, and I just build a humongous rock. It doesn't. This one doesn't tend to. Some of the other Geo characters will, if they have an item like this, it tends to create like a Geo area of effect. This one doesn't for some reason. But sometimes it can be useful to help you get into different areas or use pressure plates. But apart from that, I don't really like Geo that much. And then if I go to Inazuma, so you can see as well, look, the colouring on her thing is now yellow. And if I resonate with Electro, you can now see it's purple. And I now have fancy purple things. So one thing to note in relation to the Traveller in relation to talents is as you change to a new element, your levels will reset back to 1. So if I show, if I can show you, you can see on here that oh, so yeah, one thing, sorry to note, in relation to the constellations, sometimes the constellation will affect your talent levels, which will be in blue and be a higher level, and that the constellation areas will always affect these two, which is your elemental skill and your elemental burst. It doesn't really affect your normal attack. It's just these two. So if I show you this one, you can see that I am currently maxed out for my current character phase, ascension phase. I can't get any higher. If I then go back to Sumeru, only reason that I have to do this is because I haven't done anything in Sumeru yet. The other two are fully maxed out, so they're not good examples. Let's just put it that way. So let's resonate back with this again. And then if I go onto my talents, nope. If I go onto my talents, you can see they're reset to 1. So it doesn't affect your other elements, but you need to max out your levels individually. And the constellations that you get are also very similar. So in relation to Anemo, oh, actually that reminds me, let's go see Catherine so I can show you that. As you get to character ascension levels, which you do by doing daily commissions and just general exploring, doing quests, side quests, story arc missions and things, you will get a where is it? You will get your adventure rank EXP. Now you can see that mine is incredibly high considering the level that I am, because I have not upgraded my world for a very, very, very long time. So if I show you with Catherine and I go with claim adventure rank rewards, you can see that certain ones that you need, particularly the rocks, you need to get, you can only get for the traveller from Catherine. She's the only one. The rest of them you can get through big bosses, smaller bosses. Catherine is the only one that you can kind of get that from. So if I look at what is to come, so I'm currently adventure rank 45. I am locked at this world at the moment. So if I want to upgrade my world, what I will have to do, I'll have to do a specific quest, go into a domain that is basically the level of the world that I'm going to be going into. To prove that I can kind of handle it to myself, I can always leave if I don't think I'm going to be able to handle it. And then once I do that, it will unlock future adventure ranks. And it's usually every 5 levels. Now, what tends to happen so if I upgraded it to level 6 now, and I go through all of my adventure rank XP, it will automatically take me to the next one, which is level 50. Now, some of them, it will automatically open up the next set. So World 6 will automatically just open up depending on your XP, but you can drop your world down if you're finding that a bit too difficult. So please note that, because I made the mistake of being like, oh, I can do that, that'll be fine, and it upgraded my world by 2 levels and I really struggled. I did it a bit too quick. So that is a very, very keen lesson. This one isn't locked into a specific quest. It auto unlocks if you've got the right amount. And then we're currently up to level 60, and then that's it at the moment. If you do make the same mistake as I do and you're panicking, if you're at world level 5, you can actually drop your world level by going onto your main menu, pressing the up where it says world level. It will tell you this, it'll give you this thing. You can only do it once a day. So if I dropped my world now, I wouldn't be able to turn it back up to level 5 until 7:45 tomorrow. So I'm not going to do that at the moment. So if there's anything specific that you wanted to do, that you wanted just one thing in for level 5, please know that. But yeah, so you can drop it or raise it up, but only once you hit level 5. That's that. Is there anything else? Smaller bosses. Yes, so there are smaller bosses, which are the ones that are tied into the elements that certain characters need. They take up 40 per 40 of your moons for each one, and they have an unlimited amount of spawn. You just got to give them, maybe if you defeat it, you've got to give it maybe like a minute or two before it will respawn. So you can do it as many times as you want per day, or as many moons as you have. And they will drop both the rocks, and they will drop so you can see with this one, there's like a little purple triangle. That is specific, a necessary item for certain electro characters to ascend. Not all of them, but certain ones. And there's a load of these dotted around. So you've got one over there. So there's about 3 per country. So you've got one, which is the Anemo Hypostasis, the Ice Tree, and that one. So you've got 3 over here. You should have the Fire Tree, the Geo Rocks, and there's another one in Leeway, and I can't remember what it is. Yeah, and the rock one. So it's about 3 per country / continent. Anything else? The moons. So they are also known as resin. So if you hear anybody talking about resin, this is what they're talking about. They're more commonly seen as original resin. So you can use different things for that, or you can use your Prima Gems in order to restock them. You get 160, and as soon as you start using them, you accrue them, if I'm correct, about 1 every 8 minutes. There are other things that you can get from the battle passes, which should have a load of them. Which is these called fragile resins, and if you use one of them, it will give you 60 original resins. I have a mass of them because I don't tend to use more than what my daily allocation is. Some people will not have that. And it's very easy to get them through, but basically it will just give you enough if you wanted to have something else. If you want another bash at a boss, if you were very, very close. So we've done it in relation to the bosses. Like we want to use all of them, so we will use 60 in order to get through them all in one day. So yeah, they accrue 1 every 8 minutes, which I already said. Is there anything else? Ley lines. So there's 2 different types of ley lines. There's blue ley lines and there is yellow ley lines. Yellow ley lines, somewhat unoriginally, is money. That's how much money you get per each time that you do it. And you use your original resin. And blue one is talent books. So the higher world level you are, the more you get in relation to both the money and the talent books. So at the moment, Bleach for you, you would probably just have the blue books. You wouldn't have the purple ones until you get to about world level 5. They do not have a limit for what they have per day. There is 2 per country, and they basically just keep popping up elsewhere in the world. They will never run out. You will run out before they do. Is there anything else? Is there anything else? So we've done ley lines. We've talked about commissions that you need to be level 16. Oh, yes, condensed resin. So condensed resin is only something that you can get from Leeway, and it is a guild rank level reward. So she's all the way over here. Oh, right. How's my reputation? So I think, is it level 3? Yes, so it's level 3, which you can improve your adventure reputation level by doing, there's 3 bounties a week, there's 3 requests a week, and you get it for generally exploring the world and for doing certain story quests. And each level you get a different reward, but level 3 is particularly useful, and you can create condensed resin. So condensed resin basically doubles the rewards that you have in a domain or a ley line, but in order to make another one you have to use 40 resin. So you will tend to find that when me and Dan do it, we will only do 4 things a day and use the condensed resin in order to double it. It just makes your day a little bit quicker. I suppose the only other trick that I have is, I'll show you with this one. In order to minimize the amount of full damage that you can have, if you jump, bring your wings out, and then use whatever your normal attack is, you will do a plunging attack. If you keep your plunging attack relatively low-ish to the ground, you'll negate any fall damage that you may have, even if you jump from a great height. So let's show you with my favorite one. So we're going to do 2 different ones. So as you can see, I am rather high up. So if I jump up and I instantly do a plunging attack, I will take a minimal amount of fall damage. It's definitely a lot less than what it would be, because if I just jump straight off, apologies traveller, I am going to kill you with this. She dies. So even though you do get some amount of damage, it is definitely minimalized about what you get. However, if I drop a little bit closer to the ground, you can see that I took no fall damage at all. So that's something to bear in mind, particularly if you're dropping somewhere and you still do a relatively the same amount, a very similar amount of damage, no matter which way you do. It's slightly more for a longer drop, but yeah, it depends on how much damage you wish to take. Is there anything else? Your handbook is very useful, so you get different things that you would kind of go around the world. So it's just things like clear levels in the abyss, do this particular story, defeat 20 bosses, and you will get all of these rewards for them. And once you complete all of this, you will get the rewards on the left, which is usually an artifact, some money, some prima gems, and some things to help improve your weapons. So the blue things, the blue rocks that, oh, for goodness sake, the blue rocks that you can see, which currently are pink and have the number 12 under them, are what you need to ascend or enhance and improve your weapon levels. This will also tell you where all of your daily commissions are. I'll have a look at doing some daily commissions together, just in case you can't find them. You can also set them per area. If you only want to do them in Mondstadt, you only want to do them in Inazuma. This tells you what artifacts or what ascension weapons or talent book is open per day, in case you needed to have a look, and then it will tell you where they are. So if I click on check, it tells you whereabouts they are. So sometimes this can just be a little bit of a cheat for you to find it. The other thing that this has in is so this is all of your big bosses, which I talked about before, in relation into character ascension, well, talent ascension levels. This is what you need in order to level up your characters. Sorry, this is their overall levels, not their ascension levels. Your bigger bosses are on here as well, the ones that you do need for your talent levels. And then if you go on to elite/easy enemies, these are the general drops that you may need, and it will give you a set amount per day that you can just go on hunting. So if I hunt for 2 skirmishers, it tells me that where this is currently highlighted, there's a Fatui skirmisher there, and it can sometimes help if you are particularly looking for just a few amounts of different things. They don't do resources though, unfortunately. And then they have a little bit of this is relatively new. This is basically just teaching you how different elements coincide together, and this is any kind of important stories that you have not completed. So these are all the Archon and main story character story quests that I haven't done so far. Okay. I think that should be about it. Let's go and have a look at doing some dailies, because I feel like I've talked all of your ears off for the past hour. So I think you deserve a break from me chatting on. But I hope that has been at least a little bit helpful.
Ready for trial?
No, actually, I don't want you.
A pleasure to be working with you.
Yeah. So if you didn't know, these 2 are brothers and sisters. But we'll get to that later. Let's go and have a look where my dailies are per day. Ugh, why did you have to put one there? I'll have to jump off from here. But yes, I hope that's been at least a little bit helpful in relation to how to, some of the tips, tricks, areas that you need to work on, and if not, I'm really sorry. Hopefully it wasn't all scatter. But this is purely just about 2 years worth of experience. This is it. I've not too much looked into the professional side of things of how do I do this and how do I do that. You know, it's just been looking at some guides, hoping for the best. Oh no. Oh, the little things on here are you can now get a boat for certain areas. Not all of it, but certain areas. I think it's over here somewhere. So yeah, we'll have a look at doing my daily commissions now and my spending my resin. Should be around here somewhere. If you have any other questions, by all means pop them in the chat, and I will certainly do my absolute utmost to answer them if I know what they are. If I know the answer, I will answer it.
Come into being. Witness my great undertaking.
My apologies.
Yeah. You didn't really think you could beat me, could you? These are really frustrating because their drop rate, she says, the moment she's about to say the drop rate on these isn't great, and then they just drop a whole load of really useful stuff. Oh, leveling system for the thing, actually, that's a side bit. So, very similar to a lot of games nowadays, they have a leveling system. So, your great weapons are, or your great artifacts are your lowest level. These are level 1. Green is level 2, so they're slightly better. Blue is level 3. Purple is level 4. And gold is level 5. The characters that you have, you only have either a purple or a gold. You don't have level 1 or level 2 characters. You go straight into level 3 or level 4. Level 4 or level 5, sorry. But that's about it for that. So you want to be aiming for your purple weapons.
Let's take shot.
Her Excellency. What is she trying to communicate?
She's trying to communicate that she is hungry for some pizza. And I know the feeling. She wants some Jack. So certain, actually that reminds me, certain characters, for instance Kaya and Kamisato Ayaka, can create what is known as an ice bridge. So if I wanted to do this normally, I would have to swim. But because of Ayaka's sprint cycle, she's able to basically walk on water, like so. And when she comes out of it, she creates an ice area that you can just walk on. Kaya is a little bit different. Kaya, where is he? There he is.
Oh.
Not every ice character can do this. So, Kaya's basically creates this for a few seconds. And if I was to keep doing that, waiting,
Freeze.
you can see that I do lose my stamina, which enables me to go further across the water than I probably would have been able to do otherwise. So that's useful to get to certain areas, but you don't really use that very often. It just depends if you're being lazy. I tend to use it for Ayaka to get to certain areas because I am what's known as officially as a lazy bum. I'm going to navigate to that because I don't know I'm going. Here we go. What's the mad apple by dog? And if you don't do it in time, she'll just swim. Oh, stamina, actually, that reminds me. So each character has the exact same amount of stamina, and the stamina that you have is related to the what's it called? Statue of the 7 levels. So if I show you in... Actually, let me do this first and then I will show you that each time you level up your Statue of the 7, you get rewards for it. And once you do that, you can have a slightly increased stamina cap.
Sakura swirl.
Ow.
One with nature.
Another interesting thing to note, if you ever get around to doing it, is none of the enemies can swim. Which means if you want to deal with them quickly, sometimes what you can do is you can launch them into the water and they will just instantly drown.
Should replace my hammer. Suffocate.
Sorry.
One with nature.
Mind the daily.
I should probably look at upgrading my world because now I've got Ayaka and Kaidahara. It's kind of a bit cheaty. There we go. Okay, Boro Village. Okay, so they're both relatively nearby. So if I show you one here. Each of them is round about 10 levels.
Weather all around brightens the heart.
And if I put worship statue, you can see that I'm using this one because all the others I have pretty much leveled up to their max level. So you can see that if I put 20 Dendro Lucases, it tells you at the top, on the top right hand side, into this statue, I will unlock all of these things. This is a really bad example because it doesn't actually improve your stamina cap. Does the one in Inazuma improve your stamina cap then? So at the moment, and it affects every single character. So no, there aren't any. So certain characters may use certain stamina and certain things like Amber uses 25% less gliding stamina when gliding, but every single character will have the same stamina cap. Because I haven't...
Hello, motherfucker.
OP! Oh, it's Sabakov. Hi, sorry. I thought that was OP. I'm so used to him saying that. Oh, no. It's... Okay, so it seems like 240 is the absolute highest level of stamina caps. So there we go. How to upgrade them? That was probably be another thing to look at. So each of the elements has kind of like little crystals kind of dotted around that you feed to the statue. And now I'm not going to be able to find one. They will pop up on your mini map. They don't pick up on the big map. They pop up on the mini map as a little star. Teach me sense. How are you doing, Darren Drax? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, this is definitely me being a chatty. Here's how everything works in Genshin. Sack will sleep right away tonight, your mum said. Absolutely, yeah, he's not going to sleep. We know this. I can't find the star now. So if you're looking for kind of an overview of how Genshin works, I've kind of been rabbiting on for just over an hour now. So I will get into actually playing it. I'm just trying to find... no. Why is it whenever you want to find how they look, you can never frickin' find them? Gosh darn it. I'm not going to be able to find one now. You'll hear like a little bing sound. Let me have a look up here. There's got to be one somewhere. No, not that one. Let me try going over here. Oh, darn it. Oh. Huh.
Sha-sha.
Nope, wrong one. Although there's got to be some near the sea. There's got to be one near the sea. Sumeru is my favourite land now, I think. It's definitely, yeah, I definitely like what they've done with Sumeru, I will admit. Oh god, I cannot find a freaking Dendrolucas to save my bleeding life. There we go! Finally! Ooh. So, you can... Hmm? Okay. So as you can see, it's like a little ball with wings around it. There are a set amount per area. I think there's about 70 in Mondstadt. There's like 100 and something in the other 3 countries. So there is a lot of them. And whenever there's one that you haven't found, they will only appear on your mini-map. You'll hear that little noise that we heard, and you will see it as a star, which is round about the location where they will be. But it won't specify whether they're up high or whether they're down, like you need to find them. But if you see, look, I bring in my big map, you can't see it. And you feed them into the statues, and that's what levels your statues up. Let me finish doing my dailies. Again, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask them. I'm sorry, this has kind of been both a whistle-stop tour and incredibly lectury. I'm so sorry. I don't know how else to do it. Because unfortunately, it's just one of those things that you do just have to... You have to be lectured in a little bit.
As one with wind and cloud.
Come on then.
Time to go.
Right, anyone else? You. Okay.
The wind knows me.
Oh, it's just your dad, baby. I love when they ragdoll like that. It's so funny. Right, I need the other supplies. Where are they? Oh, let's look that up.
Time to go.
They'll always have a little glowy thing to say, it's over here. And a little white arrow pointing. To hopefully catch your eyes. I always jump everywhere. There we go. That's 3. Greetings. Hi, OP. How's it going? How is your day? How is your Tuesday? I've been a little preachy. I've been a little bit education-y today.
Time to go.
Boop, boop. Oh, I don't like this one because the frickin' flying on this is just the most painful thing ever. Sorry, we've got a thunderstorm. Oh, wow. No worries at all. Make sure you stay safe, because that sounds a little bit scary. Although, ironically, the fact that you are known as AP Thunder God, and there's currently a thunder and lightning storm. But yes, no, definitely stay safe. Come on. How many more do I need? How many more do I need? I need 2! Go on, come on. Get that one, get that one, get that one, get that one, get that one. Yay! So that should be all my 4 done now. It is my brethren. Your brethren, it seems, are not happy. There we go. What do I need today? actually, I can level that one up. Level her up. Let's level her up. There we go. My brother wanted to swim in the lake during a storm. Well, I would say he'd find out his bride in here. Shiz. What did you do to annoy to annoy A? That's because I need to boost my my Kaidahara, because he is my main boy at the moment. It used to be Razor. Right, let's bring Chi-Chi out actually, because my girl Chi-Chi, where is she? She's about.
I'm here.
Okie dokie.
As you wish.
Yeah, that should be fine. That should be fine. Should be fine for what I need. So the interesting thing is that for some of these domains, even though they say, oh, it's level 80, oh, you're not level 80, are you going to be okay? It's like, yeah, I'll be fine. You definitely can take on things that are at least up to 10 levels higher than you if you've got the right stuff. Come on.
Steady.
Kamisato Ari. Suiyu.
Sacred name. Fortune pres.
And it also helps when you are able to do this one after another. I love Kaidahara's ult, but my god, it makes it so difficult to figure out what's going on. It's like, I know something's happening. For these ones, certain one, if you have anything with a little light, coloured light underneath, deal with them first, because they can make your time in here very frustrating. Oh, hello. He's nearly dying. Don't know how that happened.
I must leave no.
There we go. Sweet. So that's what I mean. They're level 88, I'm level 80, and I managed to beat them in just over a minute. Hashtag humble brag. Okay, let's get going. So yeah, as you can see, I used the original resin, which takes it away, and it basically it just reduces the amount of times you spend in domains by a lot. Emma.
Someone needs steady as stone.
Clouds high. The birds call.
Elemental reactions as well are your absolute bread and butter. Vaporize and which is, I think you have to put water on first and then put then attack them with fire, because then that does more damage. But yeah, it gives you the options to kind of go through different elemental reactions to find out which ones work for you, which ones don't. I'm not great when it comes to superconduct, which is electro and ice, basically.
Be still.
You stop that. Oh, stop.
I may have
Rude.
The wind knows me.
Life goes on.
So there are actually, that reminds me, there are certain characters in relation to healing which are known as passive healers. Chi-Chi is one of them. So Chi-Chi's skill, Retro, how's it going? So Chi-Chi's skill brings up the little blue ball that just zips around you, and once it does that 3 times, it will heal a certain percentage based on what is it based on for her? So that's it. It's called Herald of Frost, which is the little blue ball thing, and the healing scales off her attack. So it's a certain percentage of her attack, which, so for her it's 16.9%. Oh, that's it on hit. So the little bit that zips around is 111.36% of her attack. So her attack is 2,216. So because I've boosted that up, it means that the amount of healing that she can do also skyrockets. And she also heals while she is physically attacking, while also having that as a passive. Barbara is very similar. And then there are other healers such as Jean and Sayu, who they don't have the passive, but their burst will create an area of effect that will continually heal while you're standing in it. So it's just different ways of doing the same thing. I tend to prefer Chi-Chi to Jean because I tend to require a lot of healing. So for me, having that continually going in the background is incredibly useful, and you can do it every about 30 seconds ish. And then Noelle is a bit of an unusual one because while her shield is up, she can do a certain amount of healing as well. Going well, working and lurking. Don't get in trouble. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. So I imagine life has been incredibly busy as life gets. So a little bit of a different stream today. I'll be getting back to Pokemon tomorrow, I think. I feel like it's a very preachy. It's been a very preachy stream so far. I had a request because I am not very good at it, but I have a lot of experience in Genshin, and there was a couple of people that wanted a little bit of help. So I decided it would be easier for me to just dedicate an entire stream into teaching people what things are, where to find things, and hopefully it helps. But yes, as always, if you have any questions about anything that I'm doing while I'm doing it, by all means, let me know. My god, will you die, please? I prefer to raise my damage constantly, that way my enemies need to do the healing. That is true. So even though I've said that so long as my characters are able to kind of hold their own, I won't I haven't necessarily gone to the point where I'm like, I must do everything in my power and panicking about one extra percentage of DPS that my characters may do. While I'm not that into it, I normally have Noelle and Chi-Chi just to kind of tide things over, or if I'm stupid enough to let them fall to their death, which I have done a couple of times. Sometimes it can just be useful to have them, because you don't always need to be in a fight to trigger their healing if you need it. But no, that is definitely a good point. Make sure your enemies are the ones that need to do the healing.
One with wind and cloud.
Wheel of life. Orders given. Orders received.
Ow.
Into the wind.
Mind the deluge. Be still.
I love how Ayata's like.
One with nature.
I might not be able to run from death, but you can't hide from the giant gaping hole in your chest. So I wasn't going to waste a freaking thing on that. There we go. And because the condensed resins take up 40, you can do 4 of them a day, or 4 bosses a day, or 4 of the mini bosses, I should say. But I probably won't be able to, because I need a load of insignias, which I don't have. Right. My dear Kazuha. So I have enough of them. I need 5 of the insignias. So you can also, at the crafting bench, which is 1 in every city, or there's some in your teapot world, you can look at upgrading, if you have a large amount of lower level things. 3 of them combined together will make a higher level item. So you can see I've got the talent books, I've got the weapon material, and then I have the enemy drops. And I have absolutely none of what I need. Fun! Okay, so that's just gonna have to be he's gonna have a load of books and nothing else. And then I have done my commissions today, my dear Catherine. Please
Thank you for
give me
completing
my
today's
reward.
commissions. Here is your reward.
Thanks. Yay! I didn't get the thing this time, but that's fine. Rue baby, enough. Teapot World. Let's go into Teapot World. So you can get to your Teapot World one of two ways. You can either make little waypoints and get that way, or you can get to your Teapot World from your backpack, putting down your teapot. Excuse me, teapot. Why is my teapot not working? There we go. Amount exceeds minimum, and you can enter your teapot this way. In order to get your teapot world, you have to have completed at least the story part of Leeway, and I don't think it's locked into an adventure ramp. And you basically, in order to put things in your teapot world, you need to create them, which you do speaking to this lovely person here. You get your furnishings, you can buy them, you can unlock them with different things, certain characters you can buy them from, and they all require different woods, which you find in different locations around the 3 continents. And yeah, you pop them in, and some of them have a set. You can get sets in the same way as well. Where is my set? Where is my set? Where is my set? What do I need to do for sets? There we go. So if you look on sets, there we go, outdoor set. In order to have a look at this, in order to have that set, you need to make enough of these in order to create it. And it basically just, if you're not sure what to do, it creates an area for you, so you don't have to worry about it. And that can be very useful if you are not of an artistic type. So your trust rank, the more pieces of furniture that you have in your teapot world, the higher your level will be, and the more money that you get, or realm currency that you get. It accrues at the rate that it says. So every hour I get 5. Thank you. So every hour I get 5 bits. I get 30 currency, and I have a maximum, oh thank you very much, of I think it's like 2,400. And then if I put companions in, I can get friendship levels, which basically just unlocks more of their story and more of their character lines. So this is just another way, so you don't have to constantly have them in your party if you want to background level them up. And then I'm not going to worry about, oh for goodness sake, why did I do that? Because I am oh, why am I so silly? Cancel. Oh, thank you. So I have one of each of these. And then there's 3 different realms that, oh, there's going to be a 4th one. Ooh, that's interesting. But yeah, so you can have, at the moment, you can have 3 different realm styles, and you can flip between the 2 of them. And a lot of it will kind of carry over in relation to the money that you accrue, and the friendship XP that you accrue will tally over per world. Okay, so if you want to change your mind, you are more than welcome to change your mind. If you want to be in a Mondstadt related area for a day, you can do. With the realm currency, you can buy certain things like your XP, books. Sorry, munching. Your XP books, stones in order to upgrade your weapons, and money. Or you can buy specific bits of furniture that you can't build. New versions of furniture schematics. Random things that you can just place in your world. You don't have to build them. They're just there. Or seeds. So with the seeds,
If you ever have any...
which are over here, they take about 2, almost 3 days. But you can plant specific bits in there, which is really useful. What have I not done today? You can also build a forge and a crafting table in your teapot world, so you don't always necessarily have to go and see the people about it. I really like the addition of the teapot world, I have to admit. That's what I needed to do. So in order to make your condensed resin, you need, as I said, 40 of your fragile resins and some crystal flies. Now the main places I tend to source my crystal flies from is the Dawn Winery, because there is loads of them dotted around. Including 5. There we go. 1, 2, 3. So we've got 5 that are literally right next to the statue of the 7. 4 and 5. And then actually inside the so there's usually a couple dotted around the actual winery house itself, and then there's another couple dotted in the vineyard, as well as some of the surrounding houses. So that is one of the main areas that I tend to source a lot of mine from. The second area is in Guyung Stone Forest, because there is, as you can see, there's a couple dotted around here. Come here. Thank you. There's one down here. So you'll tend to need about 4 a day. It's always worth keeping a healthy stock of them in case you're running out of time. You don't have time to go and put them down. And then just straight outside. And then if you go up here, there is another 2. There we go. I love the fact that I've managed to catch all of them the first time. I hardly ever do. So in relation to the battle pass, I still find that by just playing every day and doing the things that I would normally do, there's not been very often, unless I have not played it for like a set amount of time, that I cannot get all of the end of it. The only thing I can't have is I can't have the stuff at the bottom because I need to pay for it. But I don't essentially agree with the chorus with all of this extra bit of paying £18 a month. That's just me. There is a slightly cheaper version of it, but yeah, I don't quite like that. Is there anything else? I don't think so. I've done my dailies. I think I've talked over everything that I needed to do. Nobody's really asked me any questions about anything they're not sure about. So I'm presuming either you've gotten bored to death of me speaking, or I've kind of covered everything that you think you need. And in which case, Let's do a story. Which story have we got? Okay, so let's do a bit of Kaidahara's. So he will likely be in Inazuma. He's over there, look. Here we're in Rito. I'll do this for about another, just less than half an hour. Because then I need to finish for the day and go raid somebody.
Hey! Hello? Do you know where Kazuha is?
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all.
Who?
Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a huge crowd of Inazumans, all of them wanting to know about Kazuha. If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this kind of attention. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but she just laughs it off.
Oh, so you still don't know what he did?
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi.
Ooh.
Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. In that case, his newfound stardom is well deserved. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryou Commission. They said they had something important to discuss with him. I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him. Seems like they really respect the guy.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable.
I was gonna say, yeah. Not too long ago, they were wanting to arrest him, so.
Thank you! Guess we'll go pay a visit to the Tenryou Commission.
All right then. I'll just stay here and carry on trying to fend off the crowd.
Good luck. Ugh, I'm not running all that way. I am also incredibly lazy. I will teleport everywhere rather than walk. Oh, hello. That was weird. I didn't think I loaded in properly then. Whee. Let's go bust our main man Kazuha out of jail. Don't mind me. Nice. Hey.
Oh? It's you.
Hi, it's only me.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt Decree. Since you're here, you're very welcome to listen in on the conversation. We invited Mr. Kaidahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on behalf of the Shogunate.
Yeah, because we tried
Your hard work
to.
has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance to correct my clan's past mistakes, and for that, I'm deeply grateful. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the tensions that have built up over the years. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaidahara name. Regarding the history of the Kaidahara clan, I trust that you're already somewhat informed?
Yeah, we did a whole story around an event on it, so yeah, I am more than very well aware of exactly what you put the Kaidahara clan through.
In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the Almighty Shogun. The Kaidahara clan belonged to this class. But there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaidahara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax oversight, and entered a period of great turmoil.
Which is just rude.
We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui. Attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato and Kaedahara clans was neither proper nor just.
Well, yeah,
Considering
you can't
Mr.
decide
Kaedahara
what other
has
people
once more
do.
made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty Shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for his achievements, but also receive recompense for the excessive punishment borne by his clan in the past. In the interest of preventing further harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our investigations into these matters. We trust you can understand why this was necessary.
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the Almighty Shogun and the Shogunate at large. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture does not come without some strings attached?
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. We seek only to correct a past injustice.
But why are you
With the
here?
Kaedahara clan's reputation and occupation
Could you just do
restored,
this?
the Kaedaharas will be bladesmiths once more, and your wanderings will finally come to an end.
Well, I don't want to stop being a wanderer.
You'll be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City with the Almighty Shogun's blessing and full support of the Shogunate.
I have
Bit late
grown
now.
accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of a
I was gonna say, you've had him like
Yet my
abandoned for
ancestors
years.
did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaedahara, and the art of blade making for which it stood. I do have a responsibility to restore their honor.
You really don't.
I sense some hesitation in your words. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the populace will disappear.
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was so much praise that we almost wondered whether there was another Kaedahara Kazuha in town.
Rude,
Well,
Paimon.
to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaedahara really parried the Shogun's strike. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that Kaedahara Kazuha was using a delusion began to spread.
What? But that doesn't make sense. Using a delusion turns you old and frail, and Kazuha still looks fine.
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once is a more inconceivable notion still.
Meanwhile, the traveller sat there
This is
going, I'm
just
currently
one of
wielding
many similar
four.
rumors.
So I'm just
I'm
gonna
very
keep
uncomfortable
short.
with being the subject of public discussion, no matter whether it brings suspicion or stardom my way. But perhaps if the Shogunate is willing to publicly support me, this situation will blow over more quickly.
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought. It stands to benefit all of us.
Please allow me some time to consider. In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then, what brings the two of you here?
Yikes! We nearly forgot about the most important thing!
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me?
So interestingly enough as well, the one thing that I do quite like is the fact that whenever you're in a cutscene, the character will show whatever the element that you currently are. So you can see that she had, because I went back to Dendro in order to show something. So her bracelet and the bit on her chest and the bit on her scarf, etc., are all still green. They don't default to wherever it thinks you should be at. I think it's nice. Oh, no, wrong one. Do you have any siblings? Could it be somebody?
No. This puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family.
Welcome back, OP!
Based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training to standardize every motion the blade is put through, so that each can be fairly assessed for quality. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaedahara sword art.
Just munching
Focused
while
on
they're
blade
nattering.
testing, but with a full repertoire of combat forms. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So it's hard to imagine that
Hello,
the similarity
motherfucker.
you speak
There
of
we go.
is coincidence alone.
All the more reason
No
to
worries.
watch your back.
Zavonikov said it earlier and I thought it was you.
Nutcase.
Indeed, he sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he targets is at risk of serious injury, or worse.
In that case, I will send some men out immediately to search for him.
Thank you. I must say I am now very curious about this matter, and I will also need some time to consider your offer. I will first join the Traveler in investigating the one who attacked her, then give you a conclusive answer upon my return.
Very well. Please stay safe.
I'm the Traveler, I'm
Come
fine.
on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
Let's go put him in the hospital.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji
Hi.
has to say.
Let's go have a look. Gonna munch on my pizza. Pete is wait, this PG. This is I'm not. Let's go beat his ass. Oh my god, this is so far away. Never mind. Beat his ass. He requires an ass of immense beating. Where am I going? There you go. Hey, help me.
Hey there! We'd like to ask you a quick question. Do you know if anyone around here has been looking for him? For Kaidahara Kazuha, we mean.
Just for him. Just
Aha.
thanks,
So
Paimon.
this
Make
is
it
the renowned Mr. Kaidehara.
make it easy for
I've heard a
anyone
lot
to
about
figure out
you.
who the hell he
It
is.
is an honor to finally meet you today.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an assault and would
Oh,
appreciate any
Paimon,
help
yeah.
you can offer.
I don't know
Oh,
whether I prefer a
You were
Japanese or
targeted in
English
an
voice.
assault?
However, she
Let me
is
think.
she's incredibly sassy, so I
seem
kind of
to
can't
recall
can't
anything
hate her
of
for that.
immediate interest. Mr. Kaidehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always a lot of people.
Look at that
looking
little kitty.
To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing to obtain Mr. Kaidehara's personal information.
Damn,
Some of them
got
are
freaking
offering us
stalkers
millions
already.
of mora just to gather the information they want.
Damn.
If these were more legitimate commissions, Sango would have snapped them up in an instant.
How can you possibly reach out to that high?
Millions of Mora? Whoa!
Not Cinevice, OP,
Even
not
at that
Cinevice.
price, you probably still shouldn't.
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my privacy.
You got your baited. You got your baited. You got your baited. Baited. Baited.
Have there been any other attacks?
Debated and
or
allowed me
similar
to finish off
incidents
my
recently that
finish off
stand
my
out
pizza.
as particularly unusual? The Tenryo Commission had very few leads, and I thought you might have some information from different sources.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. But typically,
Only
it's
problem
only the most
sometimes
trivial
with the
events that
character
manage to
stories is
escape
they
their
don't half
attention.
waffle on.
If anyone had been out
Oh
there
my
attacking
God.
people, that would be assault, in which case the Tenryo Commission would absolutely get involved.
That does make sense. Uh-oh.
That does make sense.
Looks like the
Yeah.
trail's already run cold.
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble elsewhere.
I
Few
completely
people
forgot she
possess
actually
your
got
powers so
attacked.
badly. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now.
Is this your way of giving me praise?
I am
You got your baited. You got your baited. You got your baited. 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 Baited.
this same concern for your fellow man is what drove you to
Nope,
fearlessly
no.
raise your blade against the almighty Shogun.
You flatter me. Truth be told, I don't know quite what came over me in that moment.
I do. You wanted to protect the
You are
traveler
much
because
too
everyone
humble.
wants a piece
Don't
of the
worry,
traveler.
I completely understand your concerns. I will try my best to
Everyone
gather
wants a
whatever leads I
bit
can.
of the traveler.
Oh, actually,
Robert
there
again.
was one strange incident over the last few days. It doesn't involve an
Robert
attack, though.
again.
Let me tell you about it just in case.
Sure.
Oh my
During
god,
times
he's
like
still
this, the
going
more
on.
information we have, the better.
All right then.
I love
Recently,
what the duck.
2 people went missing from the city at around the same time. One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the Amenoma clan.
And no one has like looked for them
Now
at all.
there's a familiar name.
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of Amenoma Smithy.
Stop
2
saying
grown men
Amenoma.
going missing at the same time. Their cases are likely connected, but I don't know much in the way of details.
How
I
is this
recall
in
because
relation to
Amenoma
somebody
Yuya
wanted
is
to
also
slap the
a
traveler?
martial artist who is skilled with the blade. Perhaps he is the one you are looking for.
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor do I have any idea why he may wish to attack me.
He wants a piece of you.
Sure, can't hurt. We never know
Yeah,
what
do
we
both at
might
the same
find
time.
out along the way.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by making some inquiries at the Amenoma Smithy.
Yeah,
Sounds
good
good.
plan.
All the best with your investigation. I'll get moving shortly myself.
Thanks. Jesus, that was a long way just to say, go to the smithy. Hello. I hear your son's gone missing. You're clearly bothered.
Ah, if it isn't Kaede Harakazuha, what brings you here today?
Your missing son?
You two know each other?
Yes, the Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically,
Oh,
there
stop
have
saying
always been
words. I
deep
can't
links
retain any
between
of
the two
this.
clans. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respects.
This is too many names. I can't cope.
Yes, you may recall the story of the Raiden Gokaden from the Iridori Festival.
Though all
No.
bladesmiths trace their craft back to the same source, over time, each of us has arrived at a different blade-making philosophy, spawning the development of different branches of the same art. As an example,
What's the philosophy of
the
making a
Amenoma
weapon?
art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water, as it turns stone to sand.
What?
There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out.
He looks thrilled.
Until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every technique into an intrinsic part of the bladesmith's life.
So basically, you're making
As
him do
for
the
the art of
10,000
the
hours
Kaede
until it becomes muscle memory.
I believe it's called the Ishin art.
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension of its wielder's will.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses its owner. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade. It
Aw,
gladdens my
thanks.
heart to see that although the Kaedehara clan has fallen on hard times, its ideals and virtues are alive and well.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble aspirations on behalf of my clan.
Well, to be
But
fair, your
let's get
clan
back
is
on
literally
topic.
you now.
The purpose of our visit today is to gather some
Or your
information on
missing
the
nephew, not your missing son.
We hope to
Fair
assist
enough.
with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew. I reported the case to the Tenryo Commission, but I haven't heard anything back so far.
Have you
He
chased
didn't say
up?
a word before he left. which is very unlike him. I'm still completely at a loss on what to make of it.
Swear to
I've
God,
done
these
what
don't
I
want
can
they
so
don't want their
far.
families back.
Worrying is futile.
Wow.
All I can do now is wait for the news from the Tenryo Commission.
Wow.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know anything about that?
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift.
They're
I
probably
believe he
disappeared.
went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that a fire had broken out at the warehouse. And neither of them came back.
I'm going to give you an amazing gift, my dear uncle. It's silence. I'm disappearing.
Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately, there was very little evidence left behind, so
Let's give
nobody
Levy a
knows what
treat.
really happened.
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon.
Oh, why did it say Hydrate Pando?
Otherwise,
Oh, that's annoying.
There would have been no reason for him to get my hopes up.
Ugh.
He's never been
Never mind. I
particularly
didn't-
interested in
obviously.
blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing.
Nice to meet
And
you.
can
I'm
sense
Levy.
even the most minute differences
Have
in
a
blade
snack,
quality.
Levy.
He is
You're
extraordinarily
welcome.
talented in martial arts, particularly when it comes to the art of the sword.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be objectionable. The person we are looking for, he attacked this friend of mine. Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya seems to match the suspect's profile.
What? No. Absolutely impossible. Yuya is not that kind of person.
Oh, do
He
you
is
use totally
humble
that type
and
of
kind.
person?
Even his training is done with the goal of calming his mind.
Nah.
He has never gotten into a fight before.
That's what everybody says when somebody turns out to be a
Is that
murderer.
So,
Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, it's that Yuya would never draw his blade without a very good reason. But, with that said, it's equally out of character.
You trying to
for him
say I
just
started
disappear
something?
With neither farewell.
All I said was your
nor
mama.
fair warning. I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced, or otherwise compelled by circumstances unbeknownst to me. Anyway, should you find him, please let me know as soon as possible.
don't worry, you have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us as well.
Did you like get a look? Could you draw a picture? Could
It
you do
sounds
anything
as
that's
if
helpful,
something
Paimon?
happened when the two men met each other. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato household.
Why am I investigating my own attack? Where are we? He's up here. Oh, come on. Where are we? Where are we? Over here somewhere. Hello. No. Well, at least you look a little more bothered that your family members
I'm very
disappeared.
sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now. My husband has
what?
gone missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation. We'd like to ask you some questions about Mr. Nagato's disappearance, if we may.
No.
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm
Jesus.
sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know where he's gone?
Yeah.
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
Like financial situation?
example,
What your
I'm struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
what your social
That's
security
a
number
long
is, the last 3 digits on
Ever
your
since I've
pin.
known him, he's been an avid collector of all sorts of things. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me.
I bet he
knew
did.
nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, I was happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him. Everything was fine when we first got married, but as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
He's addicted
What
to tat.
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful.
Jesus, this
There
is
were
grim.
days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons even as
Yeah.
debt collectors were descending upon our house.
I bet he was
He
sat
wouldn't
there
sell them,
admiring
wouldn't
his
even touch them.
weapons, quote, quote.
Just sat there staring at them like he was in a trance. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. I've tried talking to him about it so many times, but he never listens.
Leave him.
On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles
Jesus.
and pay off his
She
debts,
genuinely did.
I would divorce him and take the children with me.
Good girl.
Oh.
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. On most things, he leaves the decision-making to me. You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our
She
family
would
to
have
the
done.
brink.
She totally would have done. I don't
After
blame
I
her.
said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, he awkwardly mumbled that he would pick out a few items to sell. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back.
Traveller's like, this asshole.
If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family?
You did that. Oh my gosh. She looks like she's been in exactly the same situation in her own world. Like, no love. Honey. Yes, queen. Yes. It's important to set boundaries. It's very important to set boundaries, and it's important that you surround yourself with people who will respect those
Had I not
boundaries. And if
indulged
you're
his
not,
bad habits,
get out of that
we
situation.
wouldn't have found
Listen
ourselves
to
in
the
such a
dropper.
predicament. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply angry with me. The next thing I heard was
Can't
that our
believe they put
warehouse
that
had
much
caught
emphasis
fire,
on the traveller being
and
like,
both
oh
he and the
no.
buyer had gone missing.
I see.
Honey.
understand. Amenoma Yuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke out at the warehouse, and both men disappeared.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price. But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debts?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to pay off our debts. Even
She
though
can
I'm
claim
still
the
a little
insurance
mad at
money
him.
though.
We're a family, and I want us to face
Because
our family's
technically,
crisis
if all the
together.
debts are in his
As
name
long as
and
he's
he's
willing to turn
dead,
over a new leaf,
the debts
I
die
know we
with
can work
him,
things
she
out.
gets insurance
Please
money
don't
and a
get
brand
upset.
new house.
There could be more to this situation than meets the eye.
He's totally
If
dead.
collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life,
He's dead.
it is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period.
That's because he's
But
dead.
the information we gathered from the other side suggests Amenoma Yuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument. This situation
What happened to these
is
obviously
getting a
dead
little
people?
confusing.
A little confusing? More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can piece together what we've learned. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much. I just want him to come home.
No, you don't. You're better off that way. sorry, I'm so mean. I'm so mean. Oh god, there's
Based on
more
the
fucking
information we've
cutscenes.
gathered so far,
I
I can
thought we were
only
nearly done.
surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow the catalyst for their disappearance. The fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded, though its exact role is a mystery. Do you have any thoughts?
I have many thoughts, but none of them related to this.
Well, Paima was thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil lamp and,
Good job.
never mind.
Good job,
Paimon
Paimon.
needs
You
to
did it.
rest for a while. Over to you.
We're still missing crucial information.
Right. I very much agree with you. It seems highly likely that we're missing a piece of the puzzle.
Indeed.
Working off what we know so far, there are too many things that don't add up. The chances are that there are still some clues left for us to discover.
Yeah.
One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is introverted and passive.
Introverted, I know the
Neither seems
feeling.
like the type of person who is inclined towards initiating conflict.
It depends.
Mr. Nagato,
Some of them
being
have
heavily in
got some
debt,
tasty swords.
is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear
I
after the
wonder if
fire.
they've run off
The
together
more I
and
ponder
start a
it,
new life
the
in a
more
different
puzzling
country.
it becomes. Just what could have happened there? Right.
Yeah.
Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that we've learned seem to link the two events together.
True.
Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing techniques of Amenoma art, not those
That
of
makes
the
any freaking
combat-oriented Ishin art.
Your Honor, I would like to counter the.
Stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
I'm
Let's keep
sorry,
going,
they won't shut
since
up.
we've come this far. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some
Tell
closure.
Kaidahara and Charles to
Okay.
shut up.
But where should we go now?
You what?
Let's
Tell
head out of the city
Kaidahara
and
and
check
Travel
out
to
the
shut up.
warehouse. There's still a chance we may be able to find some shreds of evidence.
No one cares.
Hey, there we
Why
go.
don't you just go back to saying nothing all day?
Okay, I'm going to leave that there for today. Let's go and set up a raid. I'm going to put my thanks for watching screen on. So apologies again that I didn't go live yesterday and didn't do all this yesterday. Hopefully some of what I've talked about today has been useful to you. And as always, if you ever get stuck on anything, please do let me know, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions in future streams. But let's go raid Ryan.